Welcome to Mark's Moments Video Library. These videos are intended for the exclusive use of our agents here at Realty Executives, Arizona Territory. The videos are designed to be a brief overview of frequently asked questions and topics from our agents. If you are in need of a more in-depth discussion on any of the topics in our video library, please call one of our members of our management team. The information on these videos is intended to be used as a guide, not a substitute for legal advice. Thank you.
Hello, another Mark's Minutes for hopefully a little bit of information that you can use. I'd like to talk a little bit about the FHA VA Amendatory Clause, what it is, what it isn't. The FHA VA Amendatory Clause is required for all FHA and VA loans, and in the past it's required to be signed by the buyers, the sellers, the agents. And it's never really been a problem too much in the past, but now with all the buyers negotiating to get the properties, sellers market, buyers waiving appraisals or agreeing to pay above appraised value. You have to be careful that you don't misunderstand the amendatory clause. It may not save your buyer if the buyers agreed to pay non-refundable earnest money. So if a buyer agrees in the contract that they will pay the difference between the appraised value and the contract price or pay some portion thereof, then the amendatory clause will not bail them out. Again, if the buyer agrees to have the money non-refundable and then the seller refuses to sign the amendatory clause, then the buyer probably won't get the loan, and the unfulfilled loan contingency also may not save the buyer. So you've got to be real careful with that. It's the amendatory clause is not a law. It's a guideline from HUD, but it's not like a law or a statute. It's a guideline, it's a rule, but it's not a law. So again, you have to be careful that you don't misuse it and misunderstand it. I think there are sometimes agents believing that they can write anything and have earnest money non-refundable as long as they have an FHA or VA loan where they have an amendatory clause. But again, be careful, and you need to understand it, get a copy of it and read it. If you have any questions, feel free to give me or someone else in leadership a call. Thank you.